So here's the thing. Alex Tuch getting signed and traded to the Washington Capitals is a big deal. And it's been reported that that is going to happen. However, I wanted to make this video about Jarmo Kekalainen, Buffalo Sabres hockey general manager and a guy that is essentially acting like Stone Cold Steve Austin over here. Let's go out there and dive into the scoop. So, of course, when taking a look at the biggest update of the morning, Elliotte Friedman went out there and posted this. I'm not sure how all the pieces fit yet, but Alex Tuch will be traded to Washington, and he will extend 8 years by $10.5 million a year. Now, this aligns with everything we had heard about Alex Tuch. The guy wants that big $10+ million contract. 30 years old, 6'4", 218, a right-handed guy, and a player that I think a lot of Sabres fans were pretty ticked off with towards the end of his time with the team. For whatever reason, it seems like his game log is not loading up on elite prospects right now, but Alex Tuch didn't really do all too much against the Montreal Canadiens in that last series in the playoffs. There was a pretty big element to Alex Tuch's game that just didn't really present itself against the Habs, and I think a lot of Sabres fans were disappointed in him as a result. The amount of people going out there and saying, yeah, no, Tuch's gotta go. Sorry. It was staggering. Now, Jarmo Kekalainen does his team a solid, and he goes out there and trades Alex Tuch to Washington after first signing the guy. This all comes, of course, a day after Kekalainen and the Sabres were able to acquire trade away Bowen Byram for the 4th overall pick, an absolutely humongous deal. One of the biggest trades that I think we have seen in a while, especially in terms of the scale of difference in between the two packages. But Jarmo Kekalainen also had some commentary on Alex Tuch. This came during his press conference, and I thought that it was just so stone cold to see everything go down the way it did. Elliotte Friedman, he tweeted out about the Alex Tuch thing. Pierre LeBrun said, I don't expect any news on Ovechkin before July 1st free agency, but we should have some word on that after. NHL Watcher said that the Capitals adding Kyrou and Alex Tuch have to believe it's the last straw for Alexander Ovechkin. Now, slight inaccuracy there, no. The Capitals are going all in for one last cup run for Ovi. He is coming back next year and they want to have a competitive team. One last cup run, LFG. You then have Pierre LeBrun who said this. It sounds like the Sabres made a pretty solid offer this week to Tuch, one last try at it, but they obviously didn't get it done. So both sides move on, and we await to see if this sign and trade with Washington actually happens. Which, of course, as we now know, it did. You then had yourselves this comment made by Jarmo Kekalainen. Alex Tuch will be missed, but the Sabres are indeed moving on from the talented winger. Kekalainen added they will look at a sign and trade with multiple sources indicating Washington as the favorite. Kekalainen said, Tuch is going to be missed, but we'll be fine. He said, nothing disrespectful to Alex Tuch. He's been a good player for us, but we have a lot of good players in our lineup. Goodness, man, this guy takes no prisoners, doesn't he? Jarmo Kekalainen is cooking up a feast. Depending on what it is, the Buffalo Sabres end up getting for Alex Tuch, which I'm not expecting it to be a lot. That's why I'm making this video premature before the trade return is even finalized. Like, we just don't know at this point, and that's fine, you know? But ultimately, these sign and trades don't usually result in the biggest packages unless it's like a year removed, like the Matthew Tkachuk thing with Calgary a few years ago. Mitch Marner last year didn't really net the Toronto Maple Leafs all too much. I would imagine for Alex Tuch, because he was a pending free agent to be, it's not going to be a lot either. But Jarmo Kekalainen's attitude towards the entire thing, the nonchalant nature of how Kekalainen is approaching this, makes it seem like this was just another thing he had to do, another box to check off. There could have been a world where Alex Tuch just left Buffalo, period, and decided to go to market, and he would have gotten the Sabres nothing. But Kekalainen, I mean, he pounced on the opportunity. He was really proactive. No disrespect to Tuch. He's a good player for us, but we have a lot of good players in our lineup. And I think just the element of Kekalainen not falling in love with his guys, taking advantage of whatever market there is, being ultra aggressive, trading Bowen Byram, not because you absolutely needed to get rid of this guy, but because you knew he wasn't going to be sticking around, and because he also knew that this trade package is probably the best you would ever get for this guy. I mean, when was the last time a top 5 pick has been traded in the NHL draft? It's been over a decade. But Jarmo Kekalainen went out there and did that, so we'll keep our eyes out for what Alex Tuch ends up going to Washington for. It's not going to be a lot. Like, it's a sign and trade move. At the very least, I would expect a pick or something like that, but no significant pieces, I would assume. It's just good for Buffalo to get something done, and to get a piece, or 2, or 3, for Alex Tuch, a guy that was not going to stick around anyway, a guy that by all accounts the Sabres made a solid offer to, but somebody that Kekalainen is very easy to go out there and say, oh yeah, he'll be missed. He's a good player, but we got a number of good players, so it's not that bad. No disrespect. That is so cold. Absolutely cold. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Alex Tuch trade over to Washington? With the Kyrou trade yesterday, that makes for a pretty interesting core in Washington heading into the 2026 NHL Entry Draft. Seems like they're really going balls to the wall here. They want to improve for Ovi. They want to do everything in their power to make things work for Alex Ovechkin in his last season or two. I'm not expecting the Capitals to win the cup, but if they get that magic, they could get Anthony Mantha back. I mean, that guy was a 30-goal scorer. They got Kyrou, they got Tuch. They could add an entire other line's worth of top-tier forwards on their team. Tuch and Kyrou together actually makes a lot of sense in my brain too. Like, they're both very fast and they both play a speedy game off the rush. I would think that that sort of a combo fits pretty well with Washington, but I guess we'll have to wait and see, depending on what the assets are going back the other way, which it doesn't seem to be revealed right now, but that's okay. We don't need to dive into that too much. It's not going to be a lot. Jarmo Kekalainen, though, props to this guy. He's really doing some good work, isn't he? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.